the Thursday night of Super Bowl week. What a night. The Legends for Charity dinner that's held in support of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. You are the 17th recipient of the Pat Summerall Award. You mentioned earlier the Brady first Super Bowl win in New Orleans. That was Pat's last game, calling games for good, and that was a finale. So I imagine there's some significance, obviously, not just for Summerall, but you and your relationship with St. Jude as well, Howie.
Yeah, well, first I'll talk a little bit about St. Jude's. My grandmother gave me a necklace, and she was a big part of my life. She pretty much brought me up, and along with some uncles, and I had a unique kind of childhood, and deeply religious. Grandmother had the rosary bead on the post of her bed, and a statue of Virgin Mary up on the mantle behind the bed with a little light bulb in the back. Those things stand out in your mind. And she had given me a necklace of St. Jude. St. Jude is the patron saint of the hopeless, and giving hope to those who perceive themselves to be in a hopeless situation. And I've always said, you're as happy as your saddest child.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get that call or that, appointment with the hospital or a doctor, and they give you the news that your son or daughter is going to be fighting for their lives, it's a gut punch beyond compare, because there's nothing you won't do, as you know, Rich, for your kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing you won't do. And then the questions start to mount in your head. Your head's running, and how do we do this? Can we afford it? Can we, how do we get to the hospital? Who's going to be there with Johnny or Becky or, whatever your child's name is? And St. Jude's is an amazing facility that takes care of all of those things so that you and your child can focus on getting better, beating this, and surviving. And it's amazing. And we've done some amazing stuff at Fox, like you have at, places that you've worked, the opportunity to, whether it's going to Afghanistan or visiting military hospitals around the world, or, being on an aircraft carrier out in the Mediterranean. One of the coolest things we did was a number of years ago going down to St. Jude's and, visiting their facility, and, the men and women that do that every day, 7 days a week, who give hope to people who are feeling hopeless, is nothing short of amazing. And, it's a great night. As you know, I heard your speech, and, you did a great job. And, for me with Pat, you think about, Pat was kind of the soundtrack of generations of football fans.
No doubt.
And, you also talk about the Masters and the U.S. Open.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that Pat did. Pat did 16 Super Bowls. We're at Fox 29 years. We're doing our 10th. His career, and you think about the impact on Fox. At the point when Fox acquired the NFC package, there were a lot of concerns. It was like, wait a second, Fox is a Cartoon Network. They've got
the Simpsons. They got the Simpsons. You got a little 21 Jump Street. And that's about it.
And whatever. What are they going to do with our sacred NFC package? And
right.
For David Hill and Ed Goren, not only tasked with, because at that point Fox was an idea. There was a blank sheet of paper. And, what do you do? Well, the first thing you got to do is you've got to establish credibility. And I think hiring Pat and John was a big step in that direction. And then, going into the pregame show, and, who would have thought 29 years ago that our group would be together and grow old together and, you know, have the impact that, you know, we've been fortunate enough to have. But Pat was, you know, the voice, the cadence, the, you know, the ability to, you know, capture the biggest of sports moments and knowing when to lay out. And, you know, that's you know, let the sounds and the images tell the story. And Pat did that as well as anyone. He was the standard. And when John and Pat did a game, you knew it was big. The team knew it was big. The players knew it was big. And the country knew it was big.
No doubt. And it'll be a big night again on Thursday at the Hyatt Regency in downtown Phoenix when you are presented the Pat Summerall Award. Go to legendsforcharity.com to purchase tickets now or just donate to St. Jude. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern for free.